So, does God condone slavery? Now, when we think of slavery, we think of like the American times where they had absolutely no rights and you cannot be free under any obligation. So, passages like this may be troubling. First Peter 2:18 says, "Slaves, be reverent, fear God." And it says to submit yourself to your master and all this other stuff. So you're like, "Oh, this is weird," right? But the main purpose of this passage is about how to be a godly person in a Roman society. See, the context is, look, check this out. You need to be a godly person in the midst of these Roman guys. So, under the Roman system, there was a social order. It's kind of like the caste system. You can't really move up. I mean, the bottom of the tier, you could either be a slave or a freeman. So, that's like the bottom tier. You're stuck there. You're born into it and you're going to die into it. The way we view slaves is completely different. Just think of like an indentured servant. Like if you owe a debt, or maybe you need to go pay someone off, or perhaps maybe you need a place to go and work for some time. Roman slavery was just vastly different from the way that we view slavery. In fact, this is 1 Corinthians 7, like 7:21. You get a little bit more context. It says, "Were you a slave when you were called? Don't let it trouble you. Although if you can gain your freedom, do so." So from what we understand, you can go and gain your freedom as a slave and become a freeman. But remember, you can't move up. Like you're stuck there. But there is an exception to the rule. I'm not gonna lie, there is one exception. There is one way that you can move up. It's either if you're married or if you get adopted into a higher class. If you're adopted, you could move up. This is why the gospel was so attractive. So this is Galatians 4:5-7. I'm just going to read 5 and 7. It says, "To those who redeem under the law, that we might receive adoption to sonship." So we know that there is a way that we can go all the way up. And not only that, it says, look, since you are no longer slaves but God's child, and since you are his children, God has made you an heir. So this is why it makes sense that being adopted was a good thing in Roman culture.